Okay. You're able to see my screen now. So I've just logged into Salesforce, and I'm going to go to the sales module. We created an object, correct? Do you guys remember what that object is? Okay, so that object is, do you remember, guys? Anyone?
Techila class.
Yeah, Techila
Training.
new or something like that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Techila training new. This is the object we created. We will play with the same object. And here you are seeing that when we created it, it automatically created 4 fields created by, last modified by owner and Techila training new name. Now, when I go, we created a couple of records in the Techila training. And so first batch, second batch, and the third batch. Okay. Now you click on the first batch. It opens up the detail page. And what you see on the top, what I'm highlighting, this is the key. This is the ID of that record. ID of which record? ID of first batch 1 record. Okay. Now, this will be very helpful for the people, especially who are there in the development. The internal ID in Salesforce for Lightning is 18 characters. And whereas if you open up the same record in Classic, it will be the ID length will be 15 characters. The last 4 characters is for Lightning, because they wanted to make it non-case sensitive. They have introduced 18 characters thing. This is how it looks. How do I know that this is the key? Now I am just copying this. Imagine why it is very important to remember. So please remember that the ID in Salesforce is an internal ID which looks like a junk character. But if you take a look at it, the first 3 characters represent the object, then the key value of that one. Okay. So this is the key of that record. And if I open up account page, I'm opening up the account page. It's taking some time. And I go into the account record. You see in the account record for the AppB, it is 001, blah, 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 and all that stuff. So the first 3 characters, as I said, it represents the object value. This object value for the standard objects, they remain the same even when you move from one org to the other org. So 001 represents account. And if you go to the opportunity, the first 3 characters will remain the same even when you move from developer org to the production org. But whereas the remaining 15 characters for the same record will not be the same. It will randomly give the value there. So that is one of the reasons. Please make a note that whenever you are writing your program or whenever you are writing a formula fields, you should never hard code your key value, because this key value will not be the same for the record across multiple orgs. Does it make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
If you go to the opportunity and if you open up all, I opened up all the opportunities. I'm opening up an opportunity. So opportunity, the first three characters of the opportunity is this 006. So now I am there in this record. I copied Techila thing. I just replace this. Okay, I don't replace anything. I just replace it with this and hit enter. Take a look at it where it takes me. It knows that it has to take me to Techila training new detail page, because that is the same key that what we used in the Techila training. So either this or this, where we came from the opportunity, it takes you to the first batch because that is the key. Does it make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right? So now if you go and take a look at it, and if you look at in the classic version of the same thing, I'm going to the classic and I go to the Techila trainings, and if you open up first batch, the value remains. So I'm just putting it here so that you can read it. You can look at it. It's everything remains the same. Last three characters will be different, correct? It will not be there. It will be 15 characters. That's all you have to remember. So if you are using the classic, you have to make use of 15 characters. If you are using the lightning, you have to make use of 18 characters. It's automatically taken care of, not that you have to do anything, but you have to remember this. Whenever you are typing, whenever you are going, and whenever you are doing some Apex programming, you have to remember this. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I am going back to the. You are able to see my screen?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. Oh, sorry. Why am I? Okay, you are able to see my screen now. Okay.
Yes.
So that is about the 13 characters and 15 characters and the 18 characters one. Okay. Now let us play with the Techila training new object itself. So I'm going to close all these windows so that it does not confuse us. Now I am there in the object manager Techila training. Now I want to create, say that this is the object that holds like the training information, right? So I want to create few fields. So how do I do it? I come here, field and relationships. I click on new. So when you click on new, then it takes you to a window where you can see that it has got multiple options. These are all radio buttons, so you can choose only one of them. Either it is auto number, formula. These are all the attributes of the field that you are going to be creating. So for the time being, so you can, I'm not going to go through all of them. You have checkbox as an attribute, currency, date, time, email, right? Text area, pick list. We will play with few of them today and we'll see how it is. Okay, I'm going to select text as the attribute of the field. I'm going to say take training new, and I'm going to be calling this one as location of the training. Okay, so I just give that location of the training is the name, field name is automatically, it asks you to give me the length. I'll say that it is 18 characters. Now there's a description, and there is something called required and unique, right? So required means it is required, always required. There are two types of required. One, this is required at the database level. When you make it required at the database level, that means you cannot save the record. You cannot save the record without giving the values into that. Does it make sense, guys?
Okay.
Right? So, and unique means do not allow duplicate values, right? We understand that one clearly. So, required means this is, please remember that this is at the database level. That means when the field is defined, it is defined as not null. So whenever you are trying to load the data or whenever you are trying to do external things, this value is always required for you to save the record. Otherwise, it will throw an error. Right? Okay. And we will talk about we'll not talk about the external ID at this point of time. Unique means do not allow duplicates. At this point of time, I'm not. This is all. So if you want to give some sort of a default value, you can give it and you will say next. Now, this page is basically telling that for the different profiles, even though it's called user, these are all profiles, field security for the profile, whether this field needs to be visible or not. You have the option to say that, okay, this is visible to all the fields at this point of time, correct? And it's not allowing you to, yeah, it's not allowing you to change it. So select the profiles to which you want to grant access via field. This field will be hidden from all the profiles if you do not add to the field level security. So when you are coming for the first time, it is automatically everything is visible to all the profiles, but later on you can go ahead and change it. Okay. So, and then, yeah, the reason that it is required for all of them, why is it required for all of them? Why it is not allowing you to change it? The reason is if I go back to the previous, because I made it as required, if I take this one out and then come next, then it will allow me to whether you want to make the field visible to that profile or not. Because I made it as mandatory here, and it knows that on that page for all the profiles, if you are going to give, that field needs to be entered. Does it make sense, guys?
Okay.
Yes.
So that is on the field, which are the profiles, and then you come to the next, and you want to add that field to the layout. This is the page layout, which we will see. Training, Techila training new layout, whether you want to add that field to this layout or not, page or not. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say save new. I'm going to create one more. I'm going to take pick list value. Pick list is nothing but the drop down. Okay. And click next. So training courses, right? So here there are two options that you have. Either use the global pick list value. That means there is a way that you can create a global pick list and then make use of it. Or if you take a look at it, there is nothing, no global pick list has been created. So, or you can enter the values. Let us take enter the values. So what are all the training courses? I will say Salesforce, Python, Java, JavaScript, then Apex, blah, 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 right? And you have an option to say display values alphabetically, not in the order entered. You can just click it as use the first value as the default value, or you can, if you don't make it, you can enter and you can say, yeah, let's not do that one. Then it will not, I will take this one out. I will say none, right? So there will not be no value, none, and I don't want to make it. Restrict the pick weight values defined in the value set. So here, if you take it out, the user will be able to add even if it is not there, you can be, whenever you are creating or saving a record, he can enter the new value, but I'm going to restrict it. And this is the API name. I'm not going to change anything, right? Auto add to the custom report type, right? It will add this field to the existing custom report types. So if there is a report, I add these values to the custom report. So that's the thing, and we'll just leave it like that and save it and say next. Now, if you take a look at it, it is giving visible to few of the profiles. Because we are not made mandatory, it is giving it to few of the profiles. Is it available to the system administrator? It is always available to the system administrator. I'm just going to go and take it, and I'm going to save it. So do you want to add this field to the page layout? The answer is yes. And save new. Okay. And I want to show you the dependent pick list, right? I will create another pick list. And I'm going to say the pick list value. Okay. Okay. We'll come back to that later. So we created a pick list, we created a text area, and I think that should be good enough for us to play with it. And I will say this, I've already saved it. I'm going to come out of this one now, cancel. Okay, so now what happens is it created this value, the fields, which is called the training courses. And also, did it create the pick? Yeah, it created the pick list and location of the training, right? Training courses and the location of the training. Now, if you go and take a look at it, I'm going to the Techila page. We have not done anything. It automatically taken care of. Now, if I go and click on, so the fields are the fields that what we added, location of the training, and then the training courses, it's automatically added, right? And the pick list values, whatever we have given, you can see that it is available in the drop down. Does it make sense, guys? Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Any questions?
Yes, sir. Sir, is there any limit for pick list value?
I think there will be. I don't know that, but that might be huge. You can find out from Salesforce thing. For everything, there is a limitation in Salesforce because it works on a multi-tenancy, right? Most of these things will have limitation. Okay. Any other question?
So how many fields we can create on the one object?
I think, see, I have seen people have created, but that's not a very good design. But I have seen maybe up to 200 type of fields that they have created, right? Depending upon the page. Again, there might be some sort of a limitation. You have to get it from Salesforce. Like, you need to search, Google search, and you will find out.
Okay.
Okay. Now we created this page. Now there may be a doubt in your mind. I don't like this format. How do I change? How do I change the position and all? So what we do is we'll go to this. We are going through the object manager. We just did the thing. And then the next option that what we have is the page layout. You click on the page layout, you will see the technical training new layout, page layout. And if you click on that, you see that this is how the page layout, this is how the page looks, and you create the page layout from here. So there are certain things onto the left panel. This is the left panel. We don't worry about it. Within the page layout, there is something called left panel fields. If you take a look at it, it is each one of them has got different values that are coming, right? So fields, you see this, you can add a section or a blank space. Buttons, you can add it. Quick actions. So what are all the quick actions that you can, which is nothing but the global actions which we have seen. And mobile and lightning app, what can you do with the mobile and lightning, right? So related list, whether it is a related or not, at this point of time there is no related list. We will see all these things. So at this point of time, the fields, if you take a look at it, whichever the fields that what you have incorporated on the page, those fields, once you incorporate them, once you put them on the page, they will be grayed out here. If you take this one, click it and put it back here, then it will get highlighted, right? So just, it's a simple thing. You take this one and you put it here, you put it there, you can drag it and it will become gray. Does it make sense, guys? Okay. Now you can also play with it. You don't want this one to be one below the other. You want to be in the, two format, this thing, right? It's divided into two columns on a page. What you can do is you can just simply take and drag and drop there. That's it, correct? And the range is always shows the properties. You click on the range. So here you see that this field is required, right? It's grayed out because we made it the database required thing. And if you click on this, here you can make the field either read only or required. If you make it on the page required only, it is not required at the database level. It is required only at the page level. Okay. Now, once you do this, what you have is you have changed the format and then you simply save it. You have saved the page layout, new page layout. Okay. Now what you can do is you go back and you refresh this. Sometimes it does not refresh back, right? So in that situation, let me click on this. Let's see whether it refreshes it. It does not. So I will go, I will log out. I will come back in. And I will go to Techila trainings. Hopefully. Yeah. See, once I log out and log back in, it has moved the training courses underneath the owner. Does it make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is how you play with the page layouts. So how many page layouts can be there for a particular object? How many page layouts can be there? Okay. Now I can create or I can clone this page, save as. No, what I will do is not this one. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take this one location of the training here, and I'm going to move this training course here, and I'm going to say save as, right? Instead of Techila training new layout, I'm going to say Techila training new layout demo manager, right? And I'm going to save this. Okay. So what I did, I created, how many page layouts you can create? You can create n number of page layouts depending upon how you want to show to the user. Does it make sense? Right? So if you go to the Techila training new, now if you go to the page layouts, there are 2 page layouts, copy of the thing. Why does it say copy? Yes. Yeah. So I can take out this. And I'll come back to the object manager. I'll come to the Techila training new page layouts. So I have this and I don't need this. Okay, I'm going to delete this. So when this it's not allowing me back to the previous. I don't know why it is not allowing me to delete it. The attempt was deleted. Is not for your session. Please refresh your page and try it again. Okay, let's not worry about it. It's not allowing me to delete it. So what you have to understand is you can have multiple different types of page layouts for whatever the thing is. So if I want to show the new page layout to the system administrator, how do I do it? What do? I go to the setup. System administrator is the profile, right? So I go to the profile. And I go to the system administrator. And I edit it. So here you can see page layouts are there, right? Where is that? Oh, we took out the page layouts. So here the page layouts are there. It standard page layouts and then the custom page layouts. And Techila training new is the Techila training new layout is the one. I can say view assignment. And here, if you come to that Techila training, it is there for all the layouts, all the profiles. But for system administrator, I want to change it. I will click edit assignment. And I come here, I select the Techila demo manager where I changed it. And first I select it, I take it. It shows that it has been, so for all the other profiles, this is the new layout where location is on the right side and the training courses is on the left, but we reversed it in this one in the demo manager, and I changed that and I'm going to save it. Are you able to follow me through? Guys, are you able to understand what I'm trying to do?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I changed the layout for system administrator to show this rather than this. Okay, that's all what I'm trying, and I saved it. And you can see that training courses is on the right and the location of the training is on the left. If everything were to be working fine, you can see that now training courses move to the left and location of the training move to the right. Does it make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right? So what did we achieve here? You can create as many page layouts as you want for an object, and depending upon the requirement, you can say that my profile A should look at the page like this, profile B should look at the page like this, profile C should look at the page like this, right? You can be able to do that, right? Does it make sense? Okay, so how many profiles can be associated with how many page layouts can be associated with a profile? How many page layouts for a particular object can be associated?
One.
Only one, right? But we will see there is a mechanism, something called a record type, which basically allows you to associate more than one page per profile. When we come to that, we will talk about it. At this point of time, remember this, one page can be associated with one profile, right? Page layout, one can be associated with that, okay? So we saw the page layout. We will go back to the page a little bit more on the page layout. So training demo manager is the one that what we have done. And what else can be done? So you have something called section. Okay, if you want to create, so now I want to keep this one as a section. What I can do is I can pull this one and I can create a section. Now it will ask me whether new section, what is the section name? You can create additional fields, additional information, and it will ask you whether you want one column or two columns. I'm just going to leave it as two columns, whether left to right or all these things, and I'm going to say okay. So it created a section for me. What I can do is, if I want, I can pull this information and put it here. Okay, so the Techila training additional information is come here, and I can save this. I come back to the page and I refresh that. It did not. So that means log out. And log back in. So go to the same Techila training thing and click on. Now you can see additional information, right? It has put a section there, right? So we have seen how to play with the page layouts. Now the next thing that what we are going to be talking is, now Techila training is the training name and all that stuff. Now I want to create like, imagine that this training whenever I give the training, each of the training, there are many students who come and take the training, correct? There can be many students who come and take the training. So I want to create some sort of relationship. So I want to first create an object called trainees. Okay. Does it make sense, guys? I want to create an object called trainees where I want to capture who are all the people who are taking the trainings, right? That's what I want to do. So I will say trainee, excuse me, Techila training new trainees. And the Techila training new trainees is the text that is nothing but the people who are going to be taking the training. I'm going to save this. Okay. It needs Techila trainees. Right. I'm just going to save this. I created a new object. Are you following me, guys? What I'm trying to do now, we are going to get into lookup and master detail. Okay.
Yes.
So now each of these trainings can be taken by different students. Okay. So what I want to do, I will say Techila training new name, trainee's name. I have taken that and I'm creating few new fields. So let's take the date. So start date, and I'm not going to make it a required. Next, I'm going to make it available. Save new. Then I'm going to add a number field, where I'm going to take the trainee's experience. And experience, I don't want it more than 2 characters, and 0 thing. And again, next. This should be good enough. Save. So I created an object called Techila training new trainees, and I created 2 things here, right? And so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add few records to this. I'm opening it up. Sales. Okay, I have to I have to add this object, correct, to the tab so that it is available. So what I'll do, I have to go tab, so we have done it, we have done this already, right? So new Techila training new trainees, that's the tab. And I'm going to add this one to chess piece, and next, save. So now the tab has been added. I'll come here. It's not showing. Okay, our trainings, add more. It's called trainees. I'm going to add this. Okay, save it. Now I come here. I see Techila trainings is already there, and trainees I added a new thing. So I click on trainees. Now this object, you can't view this lightning open in Classic. I don't know why it made it like that. Okay, it is come back. Now I'm able to see this one in trainees, training new name. Okay, so now I click new. Let's go with new trainees name. Okay, Nidhi. I'm just taking Nidhi, and training is starting on June 1st. Experience is 3 years, and save the record. Okay, so I saved one record, and I'll create one more record. That is Manu. Start date is 2nd, and experience is 4 years of experience, and save it. So now I have 2 records, and you can change the list view like this. Normally, please don't keep it like this one column thing. You can go to this list control, let's like all. And what you do is select fields to display. You click on to display, and you bring the experience and then the start date. Right? Save it. It will make it more meaningful. When you take a look at it, it makes more meaningful. So now what I did, I created an object called trainees, and I created 2 records. And we have Techila training. You can see that Techila trainings is there. We are giving the first batch, second batch. I want to add how many students. Let us think that these 2 people, right, are the people who are taking the training, correct? They are the people who are taking the training. So I want to know, I want to create the master detailed relationship for this training. How many people are going to be there? Okay, so how do I do that? We will see this. So how do we do this? We come to the tabs, we come to the setup. We'll go to the object manager. Now, whenever you are creating one-to-many relationship, either lookup or master detail. Today we will see only the lookup. What you need to do is you need to start from the detail object. Which is the detail object? Trainees is the detail object. Techila training. Techila training, new trainees, right? I am looking for that. So you go to the object and fields and relationships. And what you do is you click on new. Now here you can say, I want to create a lookup relationship. Choose the lookup relationship and then click next. And to which object it should be related to, it will give you. So here you can take a look at that, and you can say, it will be in alphabetical order. You come and take Techila training new, right? That is our master, that is our parent object. For the Techila training new, I want to create the related list. So click next. Field name, just leave it like this. Create the value, or you can't choose if the option is this thing. You can required, blah, 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 and all that stuff you can do. And just add this field, and it's asking you whether you should add, right, the related tab to all the things. For the time being, I'm going to leave it like this, and I'm going to save it. Okay. So once you create it, it shows here, there is a lookup, Techila training new, lookup is created. This is the detail object, and it is the Techila training new is the master object. Okay. Now you come back to the Techila. So we'll come back to the trainees and you click on Manu. One second. So let me log out. Log back in. Yeah. If you take a look at it, Techila training new is lookup, and I click on the lookup, it will give me the 3 master record, parent records, first batch, second batch, or the third batch. So I will say that Manu belongs to the first batch. Save it. I'll come to Nidhi, edit it, and she belongs to the second batch. And I save it. Okay. Now, if you go back to the Techila trainings and you go to the first batch and you click on the related, you will see that Manu is taking the first batch. Am I making sense here, guys? Does it make sense? Did you get the concept how to create?
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, what we can do is we can create a couple of more names here. Now, new, the Techila training. This one is Vishwa. Start date is not necessarily man, it's and 3 years. And here I can show that belongs to the first batch. Now trainees, new, Bharat. Start date is 3rd. Experience is 5 years. And then you talk about second batch and save it. Okay. Now you go to the Techila trainings and you go to the first batch. How many records will you see? You have to see 2 records, right? Manu and Vishwa are the 2 students in the first batch. And when I come to the second batch, then you will see Nidhi and Bharat are the 2 students of the second batch. So what did you do? One-to-many relationship. That is, for the second batch, you have 2 students who are going to be attending, and for the first batch, you have 2 students who are going to be attending the training. Does it make sense how to create one-to-many relationship? You have to be very clear on this one. Let me know if you have not understood. Are you all good with this? How to create a lookup? Today we create a lookup.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you take just the name, how do how do I change the layout of this one? I can go ahead and change the layout of this. I go back to the object manager. I go back to the related list is shown on the parent. So I need to go to the Techila training, new. I go to the page layout. I know that this is the page layout that I'm using. And here, if you go and take a look at the related list, you will see that related list trainees is added, correct? And that is how trainees is coming in. If I want to change anything, click on the ranch, and what are the fields that you want, you can add it. Okay, I can add start date. I can add experience. And okay, save okay. Now these three fields are going to be shown. Save this record. Now you come to the page and refresh it. Hopefully it refreshes. Yeah, you can see that start date is 6/1 and 6/3 and experience. So that way, please don't keep only one column, either in the list view or in the related. You have to bring in the related a little bit more information, so that, because if there are two nidhis, you don't know which nidhi you are going to be talking about, right? So like that, you have to put the more information on this view so that it will be easy for you to understand and also improve the productivity of that. Manu, you can stop the recording. Okay. So this is basically how you create a lookup relationship. Okay. So there are certain things when you do the lookup relationship, correct? We will go to the sharing settings. And when you go and take a look at technical training and technical training new, right? Now training new, which we created, is a public read and write. And of course, the external one is always private. So couple of things that you have to remember here. When you are having the lookup relationship, so this is, you have to remember, and we will talk again more about this tomorrow. The lookup relationship is known as loosely coupled relationship. What does that mean? Now, this is called the parent record, and these are the children. Now, if I go to the Techila trainings, and if I delete the first batch record, I deleted the first batch record, still the trainees who are supposed to be there, who are supposed to be ending I will add training new. Also, I will add it. Now, if you take a look at it, even though you deleted the first batch, the children, the Manu and Vishwa, they still are available, correct? They are not deleted. That is what is known as loosely coupled. The parent, even if you delete the parent, the children will not be deleted. The children will still exist in the system. Does it make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Okay, sir.
And in the lookup relationship, Another thing that you have to do is, which we will see later, is when you are creating a new record, unless and otherwise you make it mandatory, normally, when you are creating the field, you can make it mandatory. If not, by default, the lookup relationship field in that field is not mandatory. Whereas you will see in the master detail, the similar type of a lens will be there, but it will make it mandatory. Okay? Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Right? So that is the second one. The third one, in the sharing settings, the child sharing OWD is not controlled by the parent. Here it can be private. This guy has got public read and write. So even though they are related, the security OWD for the child is not dependent on the parent. Right? This is the third most important thing that you have to remember. Okay? So, whereas when you come to the master detail relationship, you will understand how it is getting created.